Okay, these vocabulary words are for section 9.4 and 9.5. We're going to kind of combine them because it's easier to learn this stuff all at once. So the first thing we have is trig ratios, trigonometry ratios. And trig ratios are ratios of two sides of a right triangle. So you have to have a right triangle, and you're going to have to identify them as opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Opposite and adjacent will depend on what angle you're choosing, but the hypotenuse will always be the same. The next word we have is tangent. Tangent is opposite leg over adjacent leg, and so it's TOA. So tangent, opposite over adjacent, so opposite over adjacent. The next one we have is sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse, SOH. And then the last one is cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, so CAH. We have the angle of elevation. An angle of elevation, here's a picture looking. Here you are down here and you're looking up at a plane. This angle from the ground up to what you're looking, or from it's actually your eyesight up to what you're looking, is the angle of elevation because you're looking up. So it's the acute angle that looks up the hypotenuse. So if this was a right triangle, this is the hypotenuse and you'd be looking up. So it's that angle right here. The other angle you need is called the angle of depression. The angle of depression is when you're looking down. So here I am up here and I'm looking down, and the angle of depression is outside. What happens though is the angle of depression and the angle of elevation are equal, because if you notice those lines are parallel and those are alternate interior angles. So you have to recognize where angle of elevation is, angle of depression is, and it's helpful to also understand that they're the same because of alternate interior angles. So the three trig ratios you have are sine, cosine, tangent, and you have to use them with a right triangle. And when you take notes, you'll see how you're able to use them.